Hello and welcome to the Brother Slim. This is Cam and we've reached the end of the Enormity campaign. Very exciting. So spoiler alert, we funded at 1.1 million buckaroos, which is pretty sweet. We'll have some thoughts on the campaign at the end, probably at the end of this video, maybe in a separate one, but probably just some quick ones at the end of this. But yeah, we're going to dive through the last 3 updates, which are all from early this morning at time of recording. So let's dive into it. Update 14, 1 million reached. Wow, Snatcher unlocked. Spacers, you've done it. We hit the incredible milestone of 1 million raised for the Enormity campaign. This achievement is nothing short of amazing, and it's thanks to all of you. With this milestone, you've unlocked some truly incredible stretch goals, including the Snatcher packed with its unique AI cards, stats, and loot. We love the loot. But we're not stopping here. With just a few hours left, we're within reach of even more amazing goals. So DNA Snatcher, new boss expansion completely free. So this is for reaching 1 million, a monumental effort, and an ITU milestone. I don't know what the milestone piece is. Maybe it'll go into detail. Thank you for your support. This is the occasion we prepared for this occasion, we prepared something special. A brand new, completely free boss expansion. Players who have backed, received, and played ATO can attest that we treat boss business very seriously. Yep. A boss is not a mere additional monster, it's a ton of AI and BP cards. It's a sheet with traits, stats, going all the way to level 9, and a slew of lootable and craftable gear. For anyone unfamiliar, the AI is obviously like artificial intelligence. It's the actions that the monster does. BP stands for body parts, and it's the body parts of the monster that you hit. And whenever it always starts with an AI and BP 1, and whenever you successfully wound one, you add in level 2 parts instead. Another thing I think they're doing for this campaign, but it was a little unclear which way they're going, was each of these sets of cards all have unique art, which just adds so much theme to the fight that it's a lot of fun. The unique item cards are always a blast too, some kind of comedic, some just really badass. And yeah, it's one boss, but there's a lot of different things that it can do, and it starts relatively basic and then levels up. And some of them do not start basic, they just start really hard, and the higher level ones are extreme. Okay, so we've seen the sculpt in the art before. It's pretty cool. So there's a body part in the red, and then the black/dark kind of carbon gray looks to be the AI. I do really like the color art of this thing. The sculpt looks pretty fantastic too. And I'm still not sure if if this is supposed to be kind of like DNA intestine things or gas. I'm not too sure. So there we go. Cool. The Tortor Transfigurans, better known by its nickname, the Snatcher, belongs to an unknown NIH, non-human intelligent species that has mastered control over its own evolution. A culture of the hunt has subsequently arisen. A Snatcher sets out in the unsuspecting universe to harvest DNA samples to add to its own. Its perfect form. To perfect its form. This may be the reason why the Snatcher fiercely exterminates both rat catchers and splicers. They are competing for the same food source. I think we might have read this in a previous update, but we'll read it anyways. When a Snatcher deems itself full of alien DNA, it may finally return to whatever place it calls home, to share its trophies with the collective. One dreads to think what the Snatcher will become several generations from now. So that gives me very much kind of like Predator kind of vibes, which, the hell yeah, that's sweet. So Snatcher has beat the Shepherd, it stalks you now and it will not relent. It cannot, its honor demands it. Indeed. So very cool looking. These little underneath arms are a little weird and look kind of derpy, but I think what they're going for, and like looking at the art and like the wetness to it there, is that these arms can morph into any sort of tool that it needs, which is a cool idea, and I think it's suitably horrific. Yeah, so I don't know if that's supposed to be like smoke or something physical. I think it might be something physical, but it's kind of nasty. And kind of at odds with how clean that piece is by comparison to the rest, so not sure on that. The Snatcher is quite a unique boss, as it can transform its body into any shape needed to achieve its goals. It can multiply its limbs or grow additional ones. It can also transform any of its appendages into a specialized tool perfect for the current task. A sword, a spear, a whip, even firearms like biocannons. During the boss battle, the Snatcher will try to isolate a lone spacer and suck them dry of DNA, to instantly add to its own. Yet maybe, the Snatcher's most devious weapon is its ability to temporarily morph into other things. Once it has harvested its first human, it will be able to take their shape, to blend into the Coventry's crew, to harvest silently from the shadows. Creepy. The DNA Snatcher boss expansion introduces a new boss intruder, more than 40 AI, BP, and trait cards, as well as additional 15 mini American cards worth of weapons, gear, and other surprises. Comes with 9 super hard levels of evolution and its own storyline. The little asterisk there is that it's a storyline, not an expansion. Additionally, the Snatcher expansion introduces a new area of the Shepherd's Natural Xenohistory Museum, the Strand Wing, where its lair is located. Shoot it at the museum so you can kind of see a little blade arm and whatever else going on there. Pretty sweet. Yeah, it looks like that's I think that's something fleshy. It's nasty. Looks like a whale skeleton floating from the ceiling, because what museum is complete without that? And creepy bio stuff, and you can see like the Spacers team there. I love that the guy's running away. Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's some sweet art. Another stretch goal for hitting a million. New conduits, the counterflow. Along with Snatcher comes a new antinomy, conduits, the counterflow. What is it? Antinomy. What is enormity? The universe is infinitely vast and unfathomable. There are things you will see, hear, or experience that neither you nor anyone else will be able to explain or comprehend. Things that you might as well call magic. Some of you may learn to tap into these phenomena to steer their unknowable flow. Become a conduit. So this is the counterflow. This introduces counterflow, a seemingly unnatural force that makes life go backwards. Players who touch this conduit will be able to call on it in their hour of need, when awakened during flatlining. Very, very cool. And then just mentioned that there's only 7 hours left at the time of this update. Torched are on the horizon, Shadowman and Fly close behind. Let's see what is going to be unlocked. Spoiler, it's the Torched, which is cool that we got it. And okay, so update 15. Less than 2 hours to go. Torched are almost there. And some corridor art, which looks pretty cool. Perhaps some beautiful hand-drawn art might tempt you. It does look almost like 3D renders, which has me kind of curious. Maybe just these ones do, I don't know. Does look awesome though. That nothing to do with like AI or anything. I know they all use real artists, but I was like, are they making more than just a board game with this? Okay. Spacers, the moment we've all been waiting for is just within reach. Only 2 hours left until the end of the Enormity campaign, and we're so close to unlocking Torched. With your incredible support, we've reached milestones we could only dream of, and now we're on the verge of adding Torched to the game. But let's not stop there. Just beyond lies Shadowman and the Fly, waiting for their turn to join the Enormity. This is the final push. Let's keep the momentum going, rally together, and make these last hours truly legendary. Every pledge, share, and comment counts in making this campaign unforgettable. Let's do it, Spacers. It's time to make history. The Tunguska Project Mystery. As some of you may have noticed, a peculiar detail, the mysterious floppy disk that influencers received as part of their package. So far, no one has cracked the code of what's inside. We know you're curious, and we're more than happy to reveal its contents. A little Easter egg we've been keeping under wraps. But there's a twist. First, it's your turn. See how many Easter eggs from Enormity you can uncover. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. How many references can you spot in Enormity? Perhaps you know which creatures inspired some of our terrifying monsters. Share your discoveries below. We can't wait to see what you find. Yeah, I like this. So I commented this before, where I kind of feel like a lot of this game is it's Into the Unknown. They make everything their own. But it's an homage to like the sci-fi kind of horror genre, for lack of better words, and just sci-fi in general, not even just horror. And so I like that because they're not trying to hide that. They're just fully embracing like this is a genre that we love and we're playing in it and respecting what's kind of come before in my mind. The Ratcatcher. Straight from our small in-house prototype workshop, we're excited to showcase a brand new miniature, the Ratcatcher. Just look how cool it is. As always, we'd like to remind you that this is not the final version. It's a prototype designed to test and refine the design before production. But even in this early stage, we think it's looking amazing. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. So I haven't commented yet. I actually quite like it. I think the art is kind of underwhelming. It is like a cool thing, but it's just kind of drab brown and doesn't have like a very intimidating presence of silhouette. That's the term. But the miniature looks cool. I like the gross blobby back, and the robot's back and little head thing looks neat. And it comes apart, which is cool. I do think it'd be really cool if there's a way to make this part look a little bit less like a game component. And obviously this is a game, and at the end of the day it looks great as is. But if it could somehow like reference the teleportation effect of the mini rather than it just being a kind of like a 3D print brick, that would be pretty cool. And a little video bits. TTS demo reminder. To turn up the heat in these final hours, don't forget to check out the demo. Which features an incredible voiceover. Yes, indeed it does. If you haven't tried it yet, now's the perfect time. Yep, it looks pretty cool indeed. In fact, I've recorded the first half of the first part of the demo and was really excited to get back and do more before the end of the campaign here. and just have not had any time while I've been getting over being sick and just life leading up to the holidays here too. So I think I'll probably jump on and do that over the holidays here. I've been waiting to jump into my next solo Kingdom Death campaign, and I might do this in the interim before jumping into it. And I think I'm going to try to work on making my little video thumbnails a little bit better. Okay, so update 16. This is some cool art too. Funded with 1.1 million. The Torched added onto Enormity. Cool, 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 cool. So this piece of art looks like it's not finished, just judging from like the lack of detail. Like shading's all there, but it looks like there's not the usual polish. So work in progress for sure. Fighting the Slender, which looks pretty cool. I think I've said this before, and I'm just going to assume it's going to be the case here. For all of the boss battle images in Aeon Trespass, all of the art and gear and such that people are using are referencing various fun playtests that they've done, and I would love for that to be the case here too. Okay. And that's a wrap. We're funded. Since the first few minutes, thank you. Bringing Enormity to Kickstarter was no small feat, and even though it's not our first campaign, it sometimes felt like it. A new type of game for us, a new IP, a science fiction setting. I'm proud of both of what our team came up with our best demo and prototype rulebook yet, and the setting we've created. Yeah, I think the rulebook was really good. It's short for a IT rulebook. It's sitting at like, I think 42, maybe 50 pages or so. It's in pretty clear, and yeah, good rulebook. Me liking. But most of all, I'm proud of all of you and very thankful that there are people who like the brand of crazy ambitious designs we're known for and who are willing to go with us on this journey. And for being kind and helpful in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you from me and the whole team. Very nice. Okay, the 1.1 million stretch goal. New intruder, the Torched. I'll touch on this at the end of this video, but I love that they included these guys and the Shadowmen as stretch goals. Just a nice touch, and I like how the order they did it was based on who the majority of folks are more interested in. So because the Torched were higher voted than the Shadowmen, these guys were the next to unlock rather than unlocking a higher one. Okay, cool. So these guys are pretty sweet. You know them well, and you've been waiting for them, but just in case you need a reminder, you could say these are merely astronauts on fire. You would be correct to a point. Yes, the Torched are flaming humanoids, mostly the Shepherd's crew, but the radioactive flame that consumed them is no mere fire. Simply put, the Torched burn, but they do not burn out. The agony they're experiencing is forever painted on their strained faces. The Torched seemingly serve the Mothman and protect its nests. Though they usually rush at you, a fireball of destruction, they are much more intelligent. Some Torched stay behind and attack at range, while others, like the Wisp, can even imitate a human's voice and lure you to your doom. Fun. And some Torched explode. Yay, Grunt Birthday. I think I said it last night too. Okay, new gear, Lunite Armory. 4 new forbidden weapons of the Lunites. The Lunites have long been a thorn in the side of the Earth Gov, especially so after the discovery of the antediluvian monoliths. Lunite weapons target the mind, not the body. Interesting. Lunite, I'm going to assume is to do with the moon. That sounds pretty cool, though. Okay, and this is very interesting here, too. Unattained stretch goals. So, there's, as it says, we'll just read it to it. The work is never finished. Marcin and his team do love their winky face emojis. There remain a few stretch goals we haven't reached today. The voice narration, the Shadowman, the Fly, and all those we haven't revealed but had prepared just in case. Unlike some other campaigns, our stretch goals are never pre-budgeted into the game or outright ripped out from it to make for additional goals, which for us is only fair and gives the end of each campaign that bittersweet edge. With these goals, will these goals join the likes of Mooncrawler from Sins of Heracles or Sir Noah I. Kate, Kingdoms Forlorn, or is there some other way they can yet appear? Well, who knows with these things? So that's curious. When there were stretch goals that wasn't reached with previous games, I don't think there was any phrase quite like that. Maybe similar, but I don't remember that. Is there some way they can appear yet? That could be alluding to, it would be amazing if that's alluding to them being unlocked during Late Pledge or Pledge Manager. More likely, I would say it may be something related to the store, because this game, out of all of ITU's games so far, does feel like it has more retail potential, just with the size and scope of it and the modular nature of the expansions. So we'll see. I would love to see it unlocked being from the Pledge Manager. If that's the case, one just kind of interesting piece is I feel like it's kind of at odds with their statement of the not pre-budgeted bit, just because the Shadowmen and Fly were on the main page of the campaign, and they just feel like, I don't know, I've got mixed feelings on that. Okay, the only thing I can say with confidence is that an additional factor in deciding on the voice narration will be the reception and sales of the giant ATO narration. We spent over a year recording some 100+ hours of the VO from several actors, adding sound effects and soundscapes throughout the composing original soundtracks for each and every cycle. It's titanic work. Once the last cycle is released next month, the penultimate is going into certification immediately. Then we'll work on numbers. Yeah, I think that's super fair. Their sound team really wants to do it. I saw from a comment. They're really proud of their sound team and the app that they put out for ATO. They should be. It's freaking stunning. It is as good, if not better, than Oswarn's in the Deep Woods. And that's freaking saying something. So Oswarn's is really good too. But this is like phenomenal. And like all of the soundscapes that are part of it just innately. Super ambient and really well done. And I think that's a really fair way to do it. So they'll decide if the work's worth it based on sales, which is a sound business practice. That's fair. And there we are, the lovely picture of the grin. I didn't notice the little tentacle finger beard there. Lovely. Well, what's next? Next begins the work. As is tradition, we're back at it tomorrow, starting with adjusting the development plan to include all the stretch goals, and then off we go. Also, for returning backers, we'll have a big ATO/Sins of Heracles update tomorrow, so I'll probably be back reading that tomorrow as well. There's also something for KF fans out there too, so that might be the learn to play, rather than just the rulebook for the digital tabletop simulator. Light speed spacers, and see you in the comments. Oh, and remember the small Easter egg we mentioned in the previous update about the Tunguska project? Here it is, Cosmic Bonia, which is their office dog, which is just so sweet. Very nice. Oh, Frenchies. Yeah, so thoughts and feelings on the campaign. I think, on the whole, it's been fantastic. There are some things that I think could have been done a little bit smoother during their last 12 Sons of Heracles expansion, and I think they understood what needed to be improved and worked on it. So some examples of that were the vote. The vote for in 12 Sons of Heracles was, here's 3 really cool things. Or no, here's 3. So there's 2 votes. One was for choosing a Titan to play as, and it was, the way Martin phrased it was, choose one, the other 2 are going to be gone forever. And then same with like I think it was an add-on Primordial that you could face off against. So same idea. Choose one, the other 2 are going to be gone forever. And specifically, the gone forever piece was quite polarizing for a lot of people because they're all really cool. People who got different tastes, and it's like, what do you mean? This is such a cool idea. Like, don't just shelve it just because of this. And so some of those things have come back over time, but it was definitely like a kind of a polarizing piece for some people. One kind of interesting, and so like in comparison here, there was I think one vote, which was for the Davids, which won out against the Torched and Shadowmen. I thought that was well done because it was not like these guys are gone forever. They're still part of the universe, and we'll see how they get worked in the future. And then seeing them within a few days brought back as stretch goals, that's good. I like that. I also really liked the inclusion of things in the comments to generate engagement, and also how top comment for one of the questions was turning into a specialization in the game. That's a lot of fun. I think that kind of engagement is really good and was quite well done for sure. The modularity piece is something that a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, like people in the comments were vocal about, and they're just being too much. I'm mixed on it. It's tricky because some people with backing projects, like, you want to get it all, you want the all in, but then they keep on piling more and more expansions, and suddenly it's like $1,000, which is a huge sum, especially at Christmas or the holidays. And so my mind of that is just get the base game. ITU games are huge. Just get the base game. And then if you want to take a look at the Pledge Manager and pick up whichever ones are really most appealing to you, rather than going for the all-in if you can't afford it. But what I like about the modular idea is this way, it's kind of more long-term, methinks. So instead of them being available as a reprint campaign in the future and then being new then, this way they're already incorporated into the worlds, they're already active in the game, and they can be available again in the future, be it at retail or as part of future campaigns. So it's helping to fully flesh out the universe even more with the first one. I do think probably part of the reason why they didn't do, and this is just speculation, part of the reason that they didn't do like a direct standee expansion and miniature expansion boxes, is exactly as they said. It would just have too many SKUs, and that would result in much smaller bulk orders and more expensive orders for them to make at that point, especially because they had so many expansions. So I think that that was really valid in that point. If they had just 3 expansions, then I think they probably would have been more likely to do a miniature expansion and a standee expansion, but not when they had, I think it ended up being like 6 or 8 or something crazy. I can't remember now. So I get it. The modular piece is I think really, really solid. It just makes it like extra kind of FOMO-y a little bit. But that's just trying to back responsibly there too. I was trying to think, any other thoughts and feelings? People thoughts, there's lots of comments about stretch pay and such, and not having the pledge manager announced if that's going to be available, or why wasn't the campaign there in the first place. And that's creator's choice, right? People are always gonna do what's best for them in their projects. And then we'll see where it ends up in the future here. So we'll see. I do have some bias here, but I do, speaking as putting myself directly in the shoes of a backer, I would love to see IT run a campaign on GameFound. I think it would be so good. But yeah, I think let's see. Is there any other kind of thoughts and feelings on the campaign? Oh yeah. The campaign itself a little bit too. So IT is kind of funny with running campaigns. I think they run excellent campaigns, but also that they shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. And so they're excellent storytellers. They more often than not show, don't tell. But quite a few of the first updates of the campaign were just kind of like little summaries of like, here's the X, Y, and Z thing you're going to get in this expansion, and a little story blurb that was well voice over and such, but not really showing much. And so I think if they're able to like show a little bit more, especially in those like crucial early days of the campaign, I think it would have been a little bit more effective. Like the grand spotlights, those were great. They really show like much more of the world and help sell the dream, because that's exactly what IT does. Like they sell the dream of something that they're working on. Like nothing that we're seeing right now is final. It's all very much going to be a prototype, and it's going to look unreal before it delivers. And so they're good at selling the dream, but it's like they just need to show a little bit more behind the dream, I think, sometimes. So I do think this campaign was better than Kingdoms Forlorn, which was their not most recent, but one before, where Kingdoms Forlorn at the beginning, there was 2 pledges available, and the campaign page had very limited content. And so because there wasn't much content on display, it made the pledges look quite expensive. And by the end of the campaign, it's showing all of the stuff that's been revealed and all of the actual full content of the game. And those pledge tiers feel much more reasonable. But I think early on, people were like, what? This is a lot of money for like not much. And people fall off that way too. Like generally speaking, I'm guilty of this sometimes too. We have the attention spans of goldfish, and just being able to like see that the quick elevator pitch of, here's what we're selling, do you like it? Then here's the sprawl of all of the stuff, and then some like reviews and such splattered in between is good. So I kind of think that the layout on the main page maybe could have benefited from a rework too, having that sprawl of content a little bit sooner, because it wasn't actually that big of a sprawl, but it just showed like what you're getting in the game, rather than just like the difference of pledges, and then all of the add-ons and such were pretty high up. So that's just some kind of thoughts and feedback there. And again, I'm just a dude on the internet. By no means am I crowdfunding expert, so thoughts and feelings, but I figured I'd share that too. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and for following the Enormity campaign updates. It's been fun to do. IT updates always get me stoked, and thoroughly enjoy being able to take time and read through, do a little recording online. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!